Hey team, welcome along to episode number 11 of the DMC podcast, deep and meaningful chats with myself, Adam Rigby, and the powerhouse, Mr. Cody Hunter. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm very good. I'm much better now. It's as you and I both know, it takes a lot of cuts to get the right intro, and that was a beautiful one, mate. I appreciate that.
Thank
now
you.
I feel like
I thank you.
I'm ready to smash some DMCs, mate. So I'm doing well, bro, and I'm again get super excited about the days we get to record this and come out. It'd be nice to be able to do it more often, but here we are showing up once a week, and we're still on, mate. Episode 11, pretty wild, eh?
Yeah, I mean, episode 10 was a big one for us, a celebration. And who would have thought all those weeks ago, we made a promise and a commitment to each other to show up. And we've had a number of people on board and a number of great supporters. So thank you to all those guys that have been listening. Thank you so much to the subscribers. It's been great to see that there has been some impact, that people are really tuning in. And our daily DMC chats have been going well on Instagram. The YouTube is going well. The Spotify is taking off. Apple, we're getting a few listeners in there as well. So we're providing as many options as we can for people to listen, to learn, and to celebrate the stuff we're talking about, which is just about being better, eh? Just about being better.
Exactly, man. We talk about the whole, again, you just outlined a lot of the platforms we're available on. The whole idea is with all this stuff that we do is to make positivity and success easy and achievable no matter where we are and what we're doing, right? There's no, as a coach, right, the obstacles are always there, and we need to either identify them and figure out how to go around them, through them, over them, whatever. But that's our job. Like, we've got to make things so you can succeed the best way possible, and having all these platforms is a great way to start. Having lots of touch points, lots of options is obviously a bit of a no-brainer for us, eh, bro? You can't just be on one thing and expect everyone to come to it. We'll come to you in as many ways as we can.
Yeah, and we are getting momentum. This is early days for us. These things do take a while to get off the ground, but we are so proud of the content we've been punching out, eh, mate? And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, you guys know this, you are the artists. We are providing the pots of color, but it's up to you to dip in and paint those beautiful, glorious strokes that make our life wonderful and colorful. And that's the stuff we need to celebrate. So we're going to keep pushing the content, pushing the envelope, asking some serious questions, going deep at times, celebrating, laughing, loving together. What better buzz, man? What better vibe?
Oh, it's amazing, mate. And I think the more you're in it, the more you see in the world, that you sort of notice the things that may have affected you in the past. They just wash over you or beside you or around you. You don't even notice, and your mindset changes in everything you do. The wave, the hello, the smile, the eyes up, the underhanded remark maybe you get from someone that normally would fire someone up, but in this situation, it just changes everything. It changes everything. The more you listen, the more you do, the more you believe. Everything's wires. It rewires, just like this picture behind us. All that matter, everything else, it's always tweaking and learning, eh? And it's beautiful to sort of be able to compare yourself to how you were yesterday, a week ago, or a month ago, whatever it was. But sort of think like, whoa, that was interesting how I handled that situation. Or perhaps it was interesting the question I asked, as opposed to, how are you, or are you busy, or whatever it was, to something a little bit different. How are you really going?
Yep.
How's your parents, or whatever it is. So you start rewiring this thing up here, and it's just awesome to see, eh, bro?
Yeah, I mean, we are asking a lot of some people, and what we're not saying is we expect you to change at the flip of a coin, because learning to love yourself and accept who you are, it's a lengthy process, and you've got to start with understanding and unraveling the great mystery that is you, learning to like yourself, and I think the isolation has been great for that. I'm a big fan now, and people I've spoken to know the importance of just spending that time alone, and you've referred to it, that detune. Sitting down, breaking away outside of the environment. We talk about the importance of environment, but that can steer you in many, many directions, and it can be positive and it can be negative. But detuning, sitting down, listening to your own mind tick over, having that conversation with yourself, removing all of the stimulus, okay, that can lead to fear, doubt, expectation, competition, all of that stuff. When we just isolate ourselves, it can be, the view I think for us is to get to a state where we are meditating of sorts. I'm not going to say, okay, meditation is quite a deep and broad term. Meditation can be just sitting down 5 minutes by yourself. It's that alone time. It's getting to know yourself, and you won't until you cut out all of that noise. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to tune out. But when you do, you celebrate that, you get to know yourself. And again, you break away from all of those obstacles that can steer you in a negative direction. And then it's about optimizing. A couple of things that came to mind, especially, we talk about the starts in the morning are important to us. And Cody, mate, you were all about make the bed. And the habit that we know, and everybody does this, right? Let's just say 85% of people do this. 85%, that is a figure that has been gifted to me from the World Wide Web. 85% of people, first thing they do, what do you think that is? They check the phones.
Well, big time, mate.
They get up and they check their phones, and it's what's happening. Maybe work emails, might be Instagram, might be Facebook, might be, take a photo of your cat, take a quick snappy and send it to your friends. And automatically you're throwing yourself into an alternative environment. You're pushing yourself outside, and that can affect your mindset straight away, straight out of the gate. What I've been trying to do is actually remove that obstacle and not have the cell phone in the equation. So I get up, and that's my time to reset. And that starts the process for me, the ball rolling of being in the right mindset. So I haven't put myself out into an environment. I haven't let myself be swayed by any information that's come externally, whether it's email or a picture that makes me feel bad or desire something, or something that's been punted at me, because sometimes we have a habit of going to a negative place. But what I do is I get clarity, and I think, what's the best for me? And it may be breathing, it may be just relaxing, it just maybe getting that first cup of coffee, or just fuel, or even just sitting down, drinking water, talking to the family, getting clarity, setting up my mindset. How will I be better today? That always do your best. I've been carrying that with me. Those that are tuned into the daily DMCs know that that's been something that I've been holding myself accountable to. Always do your best. How will I do my best today? What mindset do I need? And I'm ready. And then, and only then, when I can take that breath and get out and hit the world front on, and those emails just bounce off me, rather than, they're not darts, So it's not a shell, it's just that impenetrable force, that energy that you emit, that positive energy and that light, knowing that you're ready, you're set, it's your mindset, it's not swayed by anything else, and that's how you attack the day, rather than the day attacking you from the first time you look at that cell phone. What are you looking for?
Mate, huge. This thing here, mate, I was going to say, this is if you think about how, if you go into your phones today, if anyone that's watching, go into your phone and do like an audit on how much time you spend on your phone, right? And so it's actually mind-boggling. And I reckon there's a lot of, it might be skewed somehow in terms of like apps working in the background, and listening to podcasts and things, of course, is a bit different than just scrolling through, Instagram. But we are forgetting how to be bored. We're forgetting how to have time just to sit and be, exactly what you just said, Adam, where, we have no time to process what's happening in here other than sleep, which is usually pretty shit anyway, because we've been on this thing 24/7. So we're not having that. So go anywhere, restaurant, cafe, anywhere. And you see people sitting together, two people, one person gets up to use the bathroom or go buy something, do whatever. Instantly, that other person picks up their phone, without a doubt. And I do it too. It's just something you do straight away. You don't look around. You don't sort of cruise and have a look at the environment and smile at someone. You just go, oh, well, might as well just check my phone, open, look, tip, 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 tip. When they come back, put it back down, hopefully, maybe not even put it back down. But we're not giving our brains any chance to sort of dump off any sort of, like, to process anything, or to calm down, or to go down and just keep it rocking. It's just on high alert and reactive to everything all day, right up until that lamp beside your bed goes off, because often you're in bed laying beside the lamp doing the exact same thing. Think about that, how much time we're on there, and how much, I mean, we're not giving ourselves any chance to really process anything. So with our kids, though, those of us that have young kids, we're like expecting them to be bored, and we're expecting them to handle it. And yet they look up at us and we're on our phones every single second anyway. And then we're saying, hey, I'm bored. Oh, good. It's good to be bored. You'll figure something out. Okay, Dad, well, why are you on your phone 24/7? How come you're not bored? Because you're on your phone. You're tapping away all day. It's just interesting, eh? And the kids are good. They get bored long enough. What do? They get creative. They find something to occupy themselves. They might read a book. They might just chill out, go for a walk. I don't know. They find things to do, whereas we don't do that. As we're just on that phone, locked in, and not having any chance just to relax and calm down. So something to be aware of. And I really think it's important to have a bit of a look at yourselves, and see what we're up to, and how much time is spent on that thing, and could we manage it better?
Yeah, well, I mean, what if life was like that Jim Carrey movie where he couldn't say no?
Yeah.
Where people were gifting you with opportunities and you had to say yes. So if your kids go and you're tired and grumpy and you're carrying a whole lot of shit around from the work day, you've had a hard reset and it's just not going your way. And someone said, come on, let's go. And you have to say yes. The impact of that would be nothing but positive, just getting up, getting out. We talk to this all the time about the baggage we carry, those little things, those the emotional damage, the stress that we carry with us into all situations. And if you prolong those, if you let them live around long enough, they become part of your mindset. It can start as being just noticed as being a mood. If something affects you negatively and you hold on to it, why is he or she in a bad mood? Then it starts to become a little more of you. If you hold on to that, the longer you hold on to it, and it just becomes part of your attitude and you're known for it, when it can be one small thing. So when we go through these emotional periods in life, these things, the brain does take a massive snapshot of it and it stores it. So what happens is if we get anywhere near those situations before, it has a firm picture and we go straight back to that and we emit the same response, and it's stress. It's all of that cortisol that flows through the body. Now humans have a massive brain, the capacity to switch that on and off. So in negative instances, we can actually cause stress, which impacts health, which can make you pretty crook, right? So we switch that on, and mate, we've got to learn to drop it. We've got to learn to drop that stuff, identify it, and break it down, unpack it, like we talked about all the time, unpacking those moments, living the lesson, learning the lesson, and trying to let them go, knowing that when you confront that again, you have the knowledge which needs to be positive rather than negative. So you have the mind power and the willpower to be able to step rather than hesitate. Yeah, so some massive learnings. I've been doing a lot about on the brain, a lot of research, a lot of stuff going deep, and that's again what we talked about. Once you open a pathway of learning, it's hard to stop because it comes a snowball. You start to seek more and more knowledge. You get a hunger for it. It does. Our brain is malleable, so it says, "Hey, this is pretty cool. I'm enjoying this. The stimulation of me learning this." So the brain goes, "Can we have more?" It's like that little sugar. It's like a little piece of chocolate. It's like lollies. That's how the brain works. The dopamine effect, the stimulation by doing stuff that excites us, and the adrenaline afterwards. But that dopamine response by just learning, getting a buzz from learning. That's what we should be doing, right?
Mate, think about that on the other side of things, though, the whole that exact thing about the negativity side of it. And I was just thinking, that whole challenge of going through your day and only identifying the good things that you see or the good things you experience, right, versus the bad things. Because it's easy to wake up in the morning, it's too dark, my alarm didn't go off, I'm tired, my favorite tracksuit pants are dirty, my shoes, the laces tied in a double knot are too tight, I kicked the table. All of a sudden this big snowball effect of negativity follows you throughout the day. Oh, he cut me off, what an asshole, and this happened and this happened. Whereas if you flip that switch and you spend your entire day, because again, does focusing on the negative serve you at all? Does it get you further towards where you want to go? Does it make you feel better? Does it make you perform better? Well, the answer is obviously no. So think about doing a whole day of just focusing on all the good shit that's coming out. The whole, of course you don't want to do the old, it's burning down behind me and I'm just like, waving the old hands. Remember that one, the old life is great, but your house is on fire.
That was a great one.
But think about that, just driving through your day, moving through your day, and all you focus on are the positives, the good shit. the things that really amp you up, what people are doing that's good behavior. Instead of going into a work environment going, oh, look at that wall's painted the wrong color or some lame shit, be like, hey, look at that, that's pretty cool. Look at that big, massive, beautiful pot plant in the foyer. That's really awesome. Like, I appreciate that. Like, think about how much better your day would be. And that's purely under our control to be able to flick that switch and move through our days like that. And then, like you said, with the knowledge, snowballs. You want to do it more. You want to practice that more. And it can be the whole flip side, can be the other way, making your world hell.
And your point, like when you're sitting down, chatting to someone and they go away and you know, the first thing you do is grab the phone. What if in those moments you just looked up and looked around the room and you saw the beautiful things, like a couple walks in, both of them close to 80 years old, holding hands, you know? What if a newborn baby, parents, they're walking in with a newborn baby in a pushchair? What if there's birds dancing in the trees outside? You know, a young girl playing a guitar, singing for money. Those types of things that are so precious in life that we skip, and you'd rather bury your nose in a phone. And what do you think? You know, phones are designed to suck us in. News. How many times do we tune into the news and get good stuff? Not often. 80-20 rule, right? 80-20. So you know what you're in for. You know now by watching the Netflix documentaries that the algorithms are designed to come and get you, to influence the way you think, the way you purchase, and the way you act. We need phones, unfortunately, because it's our way of communication. We feel naked without them. So yeah,
use it,
just use them wisely. It is a weapon. Car's a weapon too, but you know, just we use them wisely.
You know, he's saying about like you're purchasing it, and you know, for a while there, everyone's like, you know, your phone was listening to you. Remember, you talk about something, and then all of a sudden this ad pops up on your phone. You're like, oh shit, that actually. I mean, from what I've seen, they reckon it's definitely not listening to you, but it knows you so well, and it knows you from exactly all those algorithms, all your searches, everything you do, everything you follow.
Of course,
it's almost like just knows exactly what you're thinking or planning or doing all the time. And it could be something that's been implanted in your brain. That's why you talk about it, and then all of a sudden you take note of it. You know, it's like walking around the neighbor and say, I'm going to have a look for black Range Rovers, and guess how many you'll see? Heaps of black Range Rovers, because now that's in my attention and that's what I'm looking for, right? So really, really interesting. Hey, the old, you know, Google's eavesdropping. They must be listening to what I'm saying. Surely they're recording my phone calls or my conversations.
They might be. Let's talk quietly.
Let's test it. Pink flamingos. That's the key word. If I see a pink flamingo on my phone, I'm going to screenshot that.
Okay, there's the challenge. Pink flamingos, team. You heard it first. If pink flamingos come up on Mr. Hunter's phone, then we know.
Now. You've all listened. It's everyone now.
It's everyone. It's everyone. You're all part of the pink flamingo conspiracy team. Dun, dun, dun. One thing I was really keen to chat about today, my friend, which I mentioned was mentioned to you, was self-belief. Self-belief versus your belief system, and how one dramatically impacts the other. And we're all about it, right? We're all about trying to teach you, the listeners and the viewers, just to believe in yourself, to have that unconquerable ability to lean on yourself in times of pressure. And it's an energy you emit. You know, it does take a long time. I suffered from a lack of self-belief for a long time, for a number of reasons, but managed to grow and change some of my habits to help me. Now, when we talk about the belief system, that's the stuff that's been forced into us. And we go back to our book, The 4 Agreements, where everything has a name. So you think of the things that were handed to you, everything that has a name, tables, chairs, glasses, that was handed to you, that's information. What if that was incorrect? Same with a belief system, religion. A prime example, you're a blank canvas when you come out, and then all of this is handed to you. So your belief system is packaged up and presented to you based on your environment and the ones you love and the ones you are closest to. So of course, that's going to be part of your belief system. What comes out of it? A lot of prejudice, a lot of hate, a lot of self-doubt, a lack of self-belief. you know, a lack of people's own ability to overpower negative situations, you know. So we talk down, not talked up.
Yeah.
And we referred to it before. What if you lived in an environment where everything that you came into, your belief system, was all about empowerment? And we're living that now, peeps. This is the vehicle for us. We're learning to expose ourselves to the idea that there are things in the universe, again, we'll talk to this a lot, that we do not understand. Placebos. What do you think people can get better on a placebo? Explain it. They just go, oh, it's a placebo, but suddenly they got better. What does that tell you? The power of the mind, the body, the soul, and some energy to actually help cure ailments. It's amazing, right? It is amazing. Yep. As much as we can talk ourselves into sickness, we can talk ourselves out of it. So yeah, learning to let go of some of that belief system and putting your worth in your self-belief. And then when you do that, you can go back and start to question and unpack. The fifth agreement was, you know, be skeptical, but learn to listen. So that the information that's coming at you is a process of someone else's belief system. They're talking to you, giving you the information that they know that they have been taught. Maybe they have researched it in a certain environment, but that is their belief system. That is their truth. Is it your truth? I don't know. Is it that truth? I don't know. It depends who you talk to. Imagine if you were brought up in, you know, the extremes of America, where we look at what's happening over there. You know, imagine if your family was Trump fans. For goodness sake, how different would your belief system be? And how would that affect your self-belief?
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff. But I guess what I thought about ways to illustrate it. But if I'll try and picture it like this, okay? So in one hand, I have a soccer ball. In the other, I have a golf ball, right? One represents you and the other represents your environment, okay? Or your world. And in that is your environment, where you go, your thought process. Now, I guarantee you, you know, people will second guess this, but majority of people will see themselves as the golf ball, okay? And how they fit inside the world. Reality actually is it's the other way around, okay? We're the large undeniable force. Your environment is a part of you, but a small part. You are way bigger and way more powerful than that. You can influence the environment, and look what a small part of the environment can influence for you. And that's when you start to see it as this massive whole. So we're trying to redirect where we see our value and how large our ability, our capacity to impact life and the life of those around us is. The soccer ball versus the golf ball. Most of us will say, yes, that's how we fit. And it's the other way around, peeps. It's completely the other way around. When you get it right, when you start to see yourself in that way bigger than the things, the sum total of parts. Sure, the environment is a part of it. We talk about it. It's an important part. But you have the ability to influence it in dramatic ways. You know, you can poison an environment. You put the wrong person in an environment that will try, and they will make an impact. Will they change it? Or the mass or momentum of that environment will be enough to actually roll over that in time, but it will make impact. It will make a ripple. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, bro? I mean, that's...
Bro, it just goes to show how important, you know, and you think about beliefs that are impacted on you as a child, or the way that you grow through. And you go back and you sort of audit your upbringing, and you can kind of think back to those things that maybe you remember. So I remember my mother would use the word broke all the time, we're too broke for that. Or she'd say, no mun, no fun. No money, no fun. Like there's these little sayings that she would say, right? Like she didn't know any better about what language she's using. There were 8, 9, 10-year-old kids listening to our parent, you know, your mother talk like that. And you sort of think about, and so that impacts me today in terms of how I use my language. Be impeccable with your word, but how I use my language around my kids, you know, the way that you talk. And there's, you know, you don't want to build this sense of scarcity. You want to build, you know, there's lots of different ways that you can use your language, right? So but there's things that are in there, you're right, and it's just piled on you, it's taught to you, it's instilled in you, it's something. So I think doing an audit and going through, and I did this exercise actually 2 days ago with one of your limiting beliefs. You know, what is something that stopped you from achieving the things you want to achieve today? What's a limiting belief? What's something? Quite often, you know, for myself, for example, could be the whole imposter syndrome one. You know, like, oh, I don't really have the skills or knowledge or experience or the followers to be able to do, you know, to do that. You know, like, am I not quite there, right? So it's a limiting belief, and so then you have to work through this activity to try to switch that over. What, you know, what's the opposite of that, or who do you actually say in the universe that you want to be, and what would that bring you, etc. So there's a lot of things to it, but I think the whole, you know, having to listen to those negative beliefs, those limiting beliefs, and write them all down and bring them to life, and then try to retrain that brain, try to come up with new statements about yourself. Remember we talked about it, the whole I am someone who, you know, that's me, that's who I am. I'm that person who goes to a party and introduce myself to every person in the room right away. I take initiative. That's what I do, because that's how I can serve the environment and how I can take control of what I'm up to. You know, there's lots of cool ways to do it. But yeah, it's retraining, like we always say, purposeful training, practice all the time, getting into it. And it's hard to rewire that stuff, especially if it's something that's been instilled on you for your whole life.
Yeah, right. Oh, you know, we can cut right back. We talk about mind power, but it comes down to, when you really break it down, it's quantum physics as well. So, you know, we're broken down into particles, into energy particles, and we talk about the atom and parts of the atom, and the mind can actually influence those particles. So can we influence our energy and those around us? Yeah, we can, by thinking differently, and that affects the energy around us, the atoms. It's wide. I mean, it's super deep, right? When you start, like I say, when you start to go deep on these types of things, the information you will get and learn about what we are capable of as human beings, as sources of light and energy and love, all of those cool things. Unfortunately, you know, we're all dropped in different environment beyond us. You know, we don't have control. We literally do not have control. And as we have said before, Cody and I get to this part in our life where we've gone through a lot of that stuff, and now we find ourselves in this sort of this nest of wisdom, which we will continue to grow, to feed, a garden of sorts, right? And what we are trying to do is get people to get into that philosophy way sooner in life. You've got to back yourself. Self-belief is one of the most important things. Getting up in the morning, and again, that reset. What type of human do you want to be? What sort of impact do you want to have? Are you going to walk out the door and let the universe push you back? No, you're not. You're going to take one step after the other and confront everything that you can. And hey, try this. You know, today I am going to be a positive ray of sunshine, no matter what. No matter what. I'll reference the smile that I talk to people, that connection of energy. When you smile at someone, 9 times out of 10, someone will smile back. It's a transfer of energy. It shows you the impact of you affecting the atoms, the energy, and then transferring it within your environment to someone else. It's that feel. And how do you feel when you smile? You just feel better. Shit, you just feel better. How good does it feel when someone tells you you're doing a good job? How good does it feel when someone says, I got you, puts their hand on your shoulder? How good does it feel when you're in the box, you're training, you're going super hard, and someone pats you on the back and goes, come on, you can do this, 2 more. It feels great. That's the energy. That is the positive energy. That is the vibe that we want. You know, you don't want someone to standing there going, you suck. You suck. No, we haven't got time for that. Yeah, we haven't got time for that. You know, one big thing and you do have to learn to laugh at yourself. Yeah. And so, look, my humor is so dry that I need to laugh at myself, because or else, you know, my jokes tend to travel at warp speed over people's heads. So I learn to laugh at myself, or no one else would laugh. I've got to back myself up. So I've got my own back, right? Self-belief in my own jokes. But laugh at yourself. But what's not cool is laughing at others. You can laugh with others. okay, as long as it's positive. But don't laugh at others. Don't laugh at other people when they're trying. And that's a classic thing, right? And that's the, and if we circle back around when you put your hand up with a question in class and maybe you get it wrong, or maybe you just answer it a different way and the kids go,
yeah.
hey, uncool kids, uncool. What are you going to say is, mate, good try, shit hot. And that's the way it's presented. Most teachers will frame this as a positive. Thanks so much for us answering that. It's not quite right. But thank you for putting your hand up. You've got to promote people to put your hand up in any situation. People ask for volunteers, hand up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can like because I was a very poor student at school. I didn't pass anything. I failed 5th form, 6th form. Well, I didn't even do 6th form or 7th form. I was there to play rugby, and my teachers liked me, so I was allowed to go to school, but I did nothing. I was a complete failure at high school. And so I think I had a learning disability. I didn't read very well, couldn't read aloud very well. But I came to a mindset where I knew that at some point, and university was where it started. So I did end up going to university after doing a gap year of polytech and getting old enough to go. I had to teach myself how to do everything from essays to, I didn't know how to do anything, didn't know how to write very well. But I made that decision. I was like, any chance I can get to volunteer, to get up and do something, I'm going to do it every time. Because number one, I learn by doing. I don't learn by observing. I don't learn by reading or writing. I learn by getting up and experiencing it. So once I went to university to study sports coaching and science, etc., if there was an opportunity to get up and take part in that group, hands up straight away. I want to be that guy that gets up every time, because I knew now I'm in it. I'm doing it. I'm going to learn faster. I'm going to be able to understand what's going on. And it just becomes a habit. And I would get to points where you stop putting your hand up because you felt like you wanted to give other people a chance. I ended up becoming that guy. And you become, so confident in it that you don't care if you get things wrong or do it stupid. Who cares? I'm in the game. Let's go. Put me in, coach. And what a change of mindset that was, to being at school where I used to literally hide and sink into my seat so deep that in case I got asked to answer a question or read aloud, hey, Cody, can you do that for us? Hell no, I'm disappearing. I'm disappearing, like a big pile of slime. So yeah, it's good stuff, good mindset to be able to do that, and just to get up into it, commit, take part. Man, I really enjoyed that part of school.
I feel you, bro. Mate, I was just too cool for school, so just one of those kids where I was smart enough to do what was required. I needed some help at times, but just didn't pay attention. So I got out of school and it wasn't the environment for me, because I was always that square peg round hole type thing. And had no one that kind of recognized that, I think, but I'll take responsibility for that as well. And moved into working and just got into the habit of working, and slowly made my way through the ranks. Was always good with people and personable and lighthearted, and I like to think I was good to be around, and opportunities presented themselves. And I was lucky to have a supportive partner and wife that was a cheer squad. So that really made a difference too. Having someone who says, yeah, no, let's go for it. You can do this. Getting married has an impact. Buying a house has an impact. Having children has an impact. Surrounding yourself in positive environment with positive people, massive impact. And that's the stuff we love, right? And that's what gets us here into this space and time. But yeah, we're limited. Now it is funny because I compliment people a fair bit, and it's honest, it's genuine. But people aren't used to compliments. I mean, I'm probably shit at taking compliments as well. So if you say something to someone says something back, you play it down. I'm kind of in that space. So I haven't pushed myself past that point yet. But even yesterday, saying, "Hey, you look lovely today." There doesn't have to be. There's no sinister intention behind saying to someone of the opposite sex, "They look lovely," or "You look nice," or if I see someone that does something that I appreciate, I go, "I really appreciate you." I do that, a compliment. We are shit at giving compliments. We are worse at taking compliments because you don't believe in yourself. That's a sure sign that you lack self-belief. If someone says, "Oh, you look nice," you're like, "Get some glasses, champ." Eh?
Oh no, geez, no, I slipped in this morning. Oh yeah, no.
Oh, it's broken. Tell it. See, but what I do like is if you see and you recognize that, why hold that back? If you see
Oh,
someone
mate,
looking
yeah.
fresh and great, you say, man, you're looking great today. And they're like, "Huh? You're joking?" I'm like, no, you are looking great today. Like, oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Just
I,
say thank you. And
yeah, I love that. Yeah.
just drop the mic. Woo.
Well, I was just going to say, I love identifying the, like a fresh hairstyle, like fresh fades. I'll never miss a fresh fade. And
You're
also,
the king of it.
but it's like, again, even this morning, there was a guy in the gym. I was like, mate, you are looking good, bro. That's a fresh fade, mate. You're in the right spot. I love it. But it is just one of those things that you take notice and drop that compliment, men or women. And that's why, I mean, I think I saw an article today. I don't know if it was a New Zealand one. I saw the headline. I didn't read it, but it did say, are we now, is it now wrong to compliment someone of the opposite sex? That's what the article title said, right? And I was just like, God, I'm not even going to read that, because number one, it's not just the opposite sex though. You compliment everybody. It's like that whole holding
Yeah.
the door thing, holding the door open for someone, and someone says,
Oh, I'm
I
a
don't need,
big
I don't need,
door, big door
oh,
holder.
me too, without a doubt. And even today, I experienced it as well. But it's like, then you have someone say, I don't need you to hold my door for me. Like, it's that whole chivalry, the whole, like, there's this weird balance we're going through now. But it's kind of, hey, it's not because you're a woman. I would have held it for old mate as well. Anyone that's coming through the door after me, I hold the door open for. It's just a habit.
Yeah, I do that and recognize that too. If someone holds the door open for me, because
Yeah.
invariably when I'm walking through the gym, I've got bags or carrying tickets from the class and hands full, and people hold the door open, or I'll still lean on the door and hold it open for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And recognize that type of stuff, because not everybody does it, and just say thank you. Just say thank you.
This
It's a
morning was quite
compliment
cool.
at the end of the day. It means they've been brought
Yeah.
up well, or they have a great belief system, and they care about other people. Would you rather have someone slam a door in your face? Oh, I don't think you would.
No.
You'd give
And that's
them
the
a
one.
serve, wouldn't you? So why not recognize that someone's doing something
Hold the
nice?
door open. Well, this morning, actually, I experienced, and a lady held the door open for a couple of people, and then the one more person came through, and as she came, I let her through because she held the door for quite a while. So, and she goes, "I'm not bloody holding it all day." And I was kind of like, "Well, you just took that good deed, and now you look like it. You should have just been like, yeah, come on." And no one, it was just a real funny situation, and like, she really held it for about two people, but anyway, it almost ruined a whole day, mate, holding the door open for someone. It's just a funny one, eh? It just made me laugh. I was like, oh no, hey, thank you, I appreciate that, thank you. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, so it's that being kind and recognizing those situations. It is that self-belief to be confident enough and comfortable enough to throw yourself out there, and you don't have to second guess your own intentions. People may second guess your intentions, but that's over to them at the end of the day. As long as you are who you are, it becomes part of your character, and people will recognize you for it. Most people know that they're probably going to get a serve in terms of a conversation from me now anyway. There's a young guy at the gym, and I won't mention his name, but for 3 weeks, I recommended a book because he plays rugby. And I said, mate, you should read Legacy, because it's about how the All Blacks got back on their feet and got those systems and processes, that belief system, looking after each other, that propelled them into the next stage of game, and eventually that great period where the All Blacks were unbeatable and continue to be the greatest sports team ever in the history of sports teams, right? Week after week, it's a no that he hasn't done it. He finally didn't download it. He got another book, and I said, well, what book did you get? And he goes, oh, it was a guy that knows Bill Gates, and he's a billionaire. And I went, oh, okay, what's his name? And he couldn't remember the name. And I'm going, okay, so here I am offering you the opportunity to read a book and something you are interested about, something that you are thinking could be your future in terms of playing professional rugby, a snapshot into what the holy sanctum looks like, the holy grail, the All Blacks, that an insider look on how they operate. But instead, are you me that you're aspiring to be an old guy that you can't remember his name, that is known for having lots of money? Is that what you're aspiring to? Is that why you're reading the book? Think about it, peeps.
Yeah.
Think about it. So be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable with your words and the words of others. So
Mate,
question
especially
that type of stuff. You know,
yeah.
I think accountability is big there too, eh?
And
And don't just read a
yeah.
book because someone says, oh, you know, Snow White changed my life. Oh shit, I'll read Snow White.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Be skeptical, but learn to listen, eh? But it's that whole mentor thing. Like that's one of the things I'm excited about the most, and hopefully at some point I get to do that. But working with guys like that, because especially if you've gone through the system a little bit, not that I was a professional rugby player, but you sort of made so many mistakes and you learned so many ways that you should have or could have done things better. And things like that, like a book referral from someone that's read this book and just see the value in it. It's like, look, this could, if that's what you say, it's that whole thing, eh? Just because you say it doesn't mean they really want it. Do you really want to do this? Is this what you really want? Because your actions are not in line with what you're saying. And that was my own personal experience. Yeah, I want to be a high level rugby player. I want to be a professional rugby player. And yet anyone that knew me could have just said, hey, mate, obviously you don't. You're pissing up all the time. You're not recovering from injuries properly. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Your behavior is actually the truth is your behavior. The way you're acting is your true behavior. Your word of saying this is what I want is total bullshit. Right. And so that's one. I didn't have anyone in my life to sort of call me out for that, but I'm saying, it's really interesting, even in the gym world, right? Like, oh, you know, I want to eat well and train well, but it's just not working for me, or you know, or I am doing it, but my body's not changing. Hey, I'm sorry, the hips do not lie. The hips do not lie. You know, like if you are doing, you know, what you're saying, and what's obviously the result, and that's happening here, you know, whether it's a bank account or your body fat or whatever it is, what you're saying is not matching up with what your true actions and behaviors are. So let's look at that. I don't care what you're saying. Let's really look at what you're doing throughout your. So one of the good questions when you're a coach is outline your day for me. Tell me what happens in your day. What's important for you? What's a priority? Not in the future, not what you want it to be. What is it right now? What time do you wake up? Do you have an alarm? Do you use snooze? X, Y, Z all the way through. And that day will truly outline what you've got or what you're going to get in the future. It's a direct reflection. Your behavior is a direct reflection of, sorry, your body or whatever it is you're assessing is a direct reflection of what you've been doing, your behaviors. You're either in the best shape of your life or you're not.
Yeah, but there's no hiding from that. Hey, and if you're happy doing you, then cool. But if you've got an expectation you want to achieve something, make sure it is for you. It is something that you want to do for the right reasons. If you want to be as healthy as you can, you know, it's not about, oh, I just want the ultimate shot. I just want to show my friends that I can be shredded and standing on the beach like everybody else on Instagram. That's not really a good reason. But if you want to be healthy, and when you start to get jump on that train, for one of a better terminology, everything will start to fall in place for you. But the accountability is the big thing. Like us, like for this potty bro. And that's why if I get serious about anything, I always seek the help of a professional in terms of coaching. I was getting ready for an event, got a nutritionist on board, changed my flipping life. Was incredible and went deep. The results that I got, because I had accountability, because someone was checking in with me, seeing how you're going. There was no cheating. There was no me second guessing, going, oh, yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm actually looking quite good. Oh, you know, I might try this instead. It was to the letter. We've talked about it before. I work better like that. I work way better like that. And the same with training. Give me a training schedule. I will stick to it relentlessly, religiously, and not deviate. Some would say that that's detrimental. But if your coach knows you, it's not a cookie cutter out of the box that everybody's doing, then it's going to be for your benefit. So if you are serious about achieving goals, there are some fantastic coaches around, whether it's running, whether it's swimming, whether it's, you know, whether it's health orientated, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's meditation, yoga. You want to get good at something, like anything, we talked about it before, doesn't matter what, you've got to practice. And if you want to get great at something, you've got to be relentless. Okay, so if you want to move from good to great, good, nothing wrong with being good, man. You know, nothing wrong with being capable. It will get you places. But if you want to be great, you have to be relentless. It is tough. It is tough. You know, what do you think? Everybody, there's not 6 billion Olympic champions in the world, is there? Why? Because it's just too flipping hard. But if we go back to that analogy, if you're going into an environment, so just say it was a cooking competition, who do you think is going to do better? Someone that walks into that with the recipe, knowing the recipe, and someone that doesn't have the recipe at all. And it's a cooking competition. Who do you think is going to do better? The person with the recipe, the person that's done the preparation, that knows what to expect, that has an idea, that has prepared themselves mentally, sometimes physically, sometimes with the right gear. Turning up to an event with the right gear or with the right mindset will get you places. So that's going back to that legacy book. Imagine turning up to an All Black training camp and having no idea how they work. Not knowing the hierarchy, not knowing where to go, what to do, what to say, how to act, what to drink, what to eat. All of those types of things can affect how you are perceived, because last week we are walking perceptions. That's all we are. A perception, your perception of yourself, and others will perceive you in the same light, given the impeccability of your word, and that's how you will be treated. So stump up, do the prep, do the work,
mate.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, mate. We talk about those biases, and as a coach, we all have. That's why I don't do my own programming. Well, I'll go through phases, and I might outline programming and follow it, but you have your biases, right? Whether it's training bias, nutrition bias, behavior bias, whatever, that you think works best for you and you know best about yourself, until all of a sudden it doesn't, right? So that's why coaches have coaches. We don't go to the gym, and even people who know what they're doing still follow the guidance and accountability of someone else. Because at the end of the day, guess what I'm going to do 3-4 days a week at the gym if I get to do whatever I want to do? Biceps, baby. And those that know me, that they just know there's always curls going on about 3-4 times a week. There'll be lots of shoulder work. I love shoulders. There'll be lots of all the things you enjoy the most. Now, that's why you need to have a program and someone that knows you so well and go, Cody. and I first learned this as a in my rugby teams in Australia in uni. Our trainer was like, bro, I know you're going to smash biceps, right? But I know that, please complete this mission first. Every time you go to the gym, do the first part. If you complete it, then you can do arms. Is that a deal? And I'm like, yeah, bro, done. Because I know you're going to do it anyway. But I still need to do the shit that needs to be done in order for me to perform better on the field. That's the mission. That's the purpose. The biceps don't help you lift in the lineouts or freaking don't help you run faster. There's a few functional capabilities for the biceps, surely. I mean,
they don't help you fit into your work polo shirts.
No, that's right. And that, yeah, exactly right. So it's like, you've got to think about that, even though you think you know what's right, and you do know what's right for others when you understand their lifestyle and their behavior, it's good to get someone else to do that for you, because you're just going to do what you know. And that's why you see the regular people who have, quite new to the gym will go in, and we can sort of paint the picture, 10 minutes on the treadmill, maybe 20, might be a jog, might be an elliptical, move over to a couple of different pieces of machinery that they've used before or they saw in a magazine. This one here, the old pec deck, maybe some leg extensions, and then finish off with another 10 minutes maybe. And that's just sort of cruising through, because there's no guidance. There's no recipe. There's no recipe to get success on that one. So yeah, I'm a firm believer, just like you, of getting professionals to help you do the work and do it better. Level up, the next level.
Yeah, and it's those nuggets, because the more you have contact with coaches and people that are there to help you, their life is about helping, you'll get those little nuggets that will stay with you, and it'll remind you of those moments and those people. If it's one or two things that you can carry with you, whether it's about process or the ability it gave you to just believe in yourself and work harder than you've ever thought, then that is great. Sure, it costs a little bit of money, but hey, we waste money. It's what is it, $4.50 for a coffee now? So we waste a lot of money on a lot of redundant stuff. So why not pour a bit of that back into yourself, your self-improvement. And as you do, that perception with the golf ball versus the soccer ball, your perception of worth, your self-belief will increase when you put yourself in those situations that are challenging, that are tough, that you've had to be accountable for, and you have worked your way through them. It takes a village in a lot of ways, but also, you know, at the end of the day, you're the one that really has to cash the check. You know, you're the one that has to stop, that has to stump up, and you're the one that did the mahi. Appreciate those that helped you get to that point, because again, you know, it's the people, it's the family, it's all of those loved ones that have to put up with you. But also take a bow. We talk about that all the time, not giving ourselves credit for it. And that, again, that self-belief, that you can do anything that you put your mind to. It is shit. It can be shit. You know, no one says it's going to be. If it was easy, and again, like I said, we'll loop around these things again. If what you were doing was easy, everybody would do it. If what you were doing was easy, would you even want to attempt it? Is the fact that you're doing what you're doing because it's challenging? Probably. Give yourself some fucking credit for that. Stump up and say, do you know what? Today I'm just going to go out, and I put myself in the situation because I wanted to be challenged. And do you know what? I'm just going to love it. I'm going to embrace it. The challenge is what I live for. It's what makes us these incredible engines, you know, our ability to overcome these challenges and problem solve. That's what we do, we problem solve. So when you get yourself there, go, yep, mate, game on. She's game on. That attitude again, get up, no phone. If it's 15 minutes, peeps, if you can do that, 15 minutes, no phone. Can you do that, Cody?
Every day, mate. Easy money. Easy money.
The
other thing, mate,
day.
I like that, because that's exactly right. It's that whole set that intention. Again, like I was saying before, the whole I'm going to be the type of student that puts my hands up and I'm going to volunteer for every single situation I can do. Once you make that decision, there's no more negotiation, mate. Like, think about how good life is when you don't have to negotiate. Oh, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I feel bad. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I'm this. It's just like, nah, boom. That's what I do. Hey, Cody, can you step up? Done. Yeah, 100%. Any volunteers? Yep. You know, and it's the same with, I've talked about it in the past about taking initiative to introduce yourself to someone. If that's what you do every morning and you say, look, I'm going to do, if today I'm going to introduce myself to everyone in my environment, you know, someone that's in my area, so they don't have to worry about it, I'm going to take charge. You don't even think about it. It just becomes you, your behavior, your control, and everyone loves that. How awesome is it when someone comes up and introduces themselves to you out of nowhere? Not even like a, hey, meet John. It's just a, hey, mate, I'm Cody. Nice to meet you. Wicked.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah.
You know, so think about ease off the decisions, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to you before, because so last weekend or weekend past, we went up to Auckland, massive event in terms of group fitness, the filming of the global fitness event, which was recording not only for members and participants, but it's the way that instructors learn their stuff. You know, every 3 months it happens, but this was a massive event. And getting back in that environment, it's a lot. It's intense. There's a lot going on. You know, people have worked incredibly hard to get there. People have been gifted opportunities to be there and be a part of it, which is cool. Going up there to celebrate and support. So the level of support up there was unbelievable, just to be a part of that and see people that you've worked with, you know, excel. And like I say, there's a level of intensity. It is intense. It's high energy, but to be a part of it and to see not only instructors but members be a part of that energy and see how fitness is built, to see the heads of the business, the global leaders, the owners of the business up there involved, you know, with a passion for fitness, is unbelievable. But the best thing is those connections, those reconnections, people, because I've been involved in it for a long time, and a reminder that we bumped into beautiful lady that we'd known for over 10 years. And then it's just that reconnection where it's real, shows that we are nothing but 100% authentic to us in those environments and a shared passion, but we can connect and go deep on a conversation to say, how are you? None of this superficial stuff bouncing around saying, how good is this? Yay. It is deep, meaningful chats, deep and meaningful connections that have stood the test of time because we were brave enough to be ourselves, because we were brave enough to sit down and have those chats. So we'll circle around that. DMC still is what we stand for and what we thrive for. Cody was brilliant in terms of talking to his children about the importance of the DMC, checking in. You know, my kids, I've talked to it before about when they were at school, sitting down with children, making sure they are okay, checking in. That's what we need to do. The deep and meaningful chat is way broader and way deeper than any of us will ever understand. But our expectation is to continue that as part of our philosophy moving forward, right? To share it with our fans, and that's you guys. At the end of the day, that's you guys. And you know, I don't know how many times we will say thank you to those people who are supporting us and coming up and checking in. You know, I could write it down on a piece of paper and continue to write it down on a piece of paper. It's difficult for us to find words, because this is something we've felt passionate enough to stand up and do, and to be able to talk about it on this scope, the impact that it's had on our lives, too, bro, and the people around us. Definitely, you know, I don't want to say I have changed, but I have opened myself up in way more ways than I thought was possible. And I've been, this has given me the opportunity to share more of myself, the deep and meaningful self, with others. And I think that's been nothing but positive. So my hope is for everybody that's listening or watching that you have the opportunity to do this as well, to sit down and be comfortable to be yourself and share more of yourself, because man, you're awesome. Fuck, you're awesome. Has anybody told you how awesome you are? Oh, consider this maybe the first, might be the second time you've heard it today, but believe the hype. Believe the hype. If someone is telling you you are awesome, believe it. But most of all, as we want to reconnect to, believe in yourself. It's okay to back yourself. It's okay to say, yeah, I'm awesome. I'm fucking good at what I do. You know what? I'm a good human. And that's the energy that's going to come off you. That's the energy that's going to resonate. That's the energy that people are going to walk in and go, oh, far out. You know, when you walk into a room, you just know, you know, and there are people that you can just feel. You can just feel
the force. Exactly.
You don't have to hear. Some people you can definitely hear. some people you can definitely see. But what you want to be is an individual that people can feel, that force of energy can emit.
Mate,
9 meters.
Well, funny story about that, because I've got a mate of mine he's a CrossFit. He owns a CrossFit box here, and he used to work for me in Korea. He's about this tall, but he'd always joke. Everyone would meet me and be like, "Oh, you're not as tall as I thought you were going to be." People say that about me all the time, right? And so he always just jokes and just says exactly along those lines. He goes, "Mate, he just seems really massive and tall, because when he walks in a room, you'll know he's in there all the time." So he just sort of seems like he's this big giant guy. And then I stand beside people, I'm like, "Hey, g'day, mate," and I'm just like, you know, I'm above average probably in terms of height, but definitely not as big as what people think I am. And when they meet me, they're kind of like, "Oh, okay, you're not actually that massive." I'm like, "No, I'm just a dude."
Yeah. He's actually standing 150 meters away from the camera, peeps.
It's all about perspective, eh, bro?
Mate. Yeah.
And I am that guy that does that on the edge of the photo and stand real close up so that everyone behind me is I'm pretty good at it, mate. I'm good at it, mate. Yeah, that's right.
Champion.
But I do love that, man. I do love it. And I was just having some good combos. But off that, I've been trying to talk to my kids a lot more. Again, I never had really DMCs with anyone in my family as a kid growing up. We just didn't do that. That wasn't like how we talked. We sort of, you know, really surface level sort of stuff. And with the brothers now, we get a bit deeper into it, of course. But with my kids, you know, I really do try to, you know, tell them I'm proud of them and I'm really excited. I'm really happy the way they did something, you know, whether it was the way they act. Yeah, proud. I mean, that's because it's, again, things that I was never necessarily told a lot. I know the power of them, and I want to make sure that they hear them. And I talked to my daughter the other day. We have some great DMCs, and I was just like, "Do you love Layla? What do you think about yourself?" You know, just having a little chat. Like, I was real curious. She looked at me like, "I don't know what you're talking about," is what she sort of says, right? And like, what do you think? Do you love life? Because she does. She, in our eyes, she loves life. Like, she just does. And I was just real curious about her mindset around a few things, and just great ways to open up little conversations and just sort of, you know, the whole grateful activity. Of course, we do that a lot, but just on different levels. And it's so interesting to see how their little minds work. And I want her to understand that she can talk like that. and talk to us like that, and her brother like that, and we can start having those conversations, you know. And I wasn't raised like that, and so again, it's something that I want to try to change, those beliefs that we're sort of having inside our house. So it's cool stuff, and it's so fun.
Mate, I'm living that vibe. Like I love it, especially with the proud stuff. So I mean, I sent messages to my girls this week actually saying that I was proud of them both, because they're both doing exceptional and both taking chances and both working super hard towards a future, you know, and they're both exceptional people, wonderful, as my wife is wonderful as well. So just celebrating those moments and telling them that I am proud of them. My daughter actually told me that she was proud of me for a couple of things I was doing, and this was one of them. And fuck, how good's that?
Yeah, right.
Like, how good is that? All of the stuff we try and run away from, or all of the type of things we try and do because we think it's what people want us to do. But the simple things about us just being here, talking, being ourselves, trying to help people is one of the biggest things that's had the biggest impact. But yeah, if you know someone in your life that you are proud of, like, you know, friends that are starting new jobs, or be happy for them, friends that have been given opportunities or worked for opportunities, you know, tell them you're proud of them, celebrate it, congratulate them, and that stuff will be infectious. We need to celebrate more each other's successes, share each other's successes, because again, if you're part of the village, if you're part of that belief system for someone, if you've been a support person, or even just been there at times of struggle, or just to sit down and have a chat with them, then you're part of it. You know, maybe they'll give you recognition for it, and maybe you just know. But I would rather say something than not say something. I would rather, you know, don't leave anything unsaid. It's like, you know, don't go to bed on an argument. Communicate. Now, bro,
mate,
big news next week.
Oh, yeah.
But you go first, mate, because this is
mate,
big.
I was just going to say that often it's hard to say the words that you didn't hear, right? You haven't heard yourself. Like, to say you're proud of someone's deep, bro. And if you've never really heard that yourself, it's like saying, I love you, I'm proud of you, I appreciate you. If you've never really heard some of these things, you're likely struggle to say it, right? And so I had to really train myself to say these things, you know, especially to a mate, like I love you, like to a friend, or you know, I'm grateful for you, or I appreciate you. So the things that, and there's just little ways to practice though. Like I used to start off with even sending a text or something, right? There's ways to do it, to make it a practice. And then, like you said, bro, that just goes to show with your daughters how well you sort of you instilled that into them, because they can use that language. They're confident in knowing who they are and who we are as a family, to then be able to use the same language, which is awesome, eh? Like, it's just like it's something for you to be proud of as well, that, you know, that's all part of that you've raised them to be able to say things like it's like a dream for your young kids, to have them be able to grow up and say that stuff, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah, bro. And you've got to teach them what love is, right? What real love is. And it's portrayed in many different deceptive, dark ways in today's world, but teach them the true meaning of love. And you've got to show that, and you've got to omit it with every pore. You know, you've got to recognize it, and you've got to share it, and you've got to give the ones that are closest to you the opportunity just to feel it. You know, the warm embrace, a hug when you get home from work, people looking in you in the eye and telling you that someone loves you, you know, is it's stuff that we need to say more and more. I think even in the first couple of episodes we talked about love language, or we're going to talk about love language. So I think that's for another episode. I'm going to deep dive on that. And get someone involved in it too, because love language is learning how people prefer to accept love, or how you can articulate love in a way that resonates to them, because we're all different in the way we give and receive. If you recognize the way that people receive love, or prefer to receive their version of love, then that's a game changer in every single relationship that you have. So we'll talk more about the love language. Going back to big news.
Yes. What? Do I know this big news, or is this a surprise?
Oh no, you probably know, bro. I've told you. Next week. So not big news for Cody, but next week I will be undergoing surgery.
That's right.
Nothing serious, just to be modified. Yeah, a Brazilian butt lift. Just a couple of things, getting some stuff removed, getting a vein actually removed from my right leg, which is causing a couple of issues. So I'm excited. Well, I was excited to get it out until the guy actually described the way they do it, which was inserting a wire from my knee to my inner thigh, and then firing a laser beam as it's slowly retracted, and then injecting some sort of foam substance until the rest of it just collapses. So apart from that, team, we're looking good. So next week, that will be me. But yeah, man, I will be still fronting surgery on Wednesday, and I'll be here ready for the Friday production to get stuck in. So super excited to get this thing. There's a lot of nerves that are attached to it because I've had a few operations in my time. I've got a few spare bolts, nuts and bolts in my body from those moments, but fortunate enough to still be able to do the things I love. So excited to get that done, get something sorted out and fixed, and we'll be back bigger, stronger, better, faster, more vibrant, more self-belief. The soccer ball will become a weather balloon. I don't know. An overinflated soccer ball.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know. So that's happening. Also, the plans for guests are underfoot, and they're underway. The thing is that we're talking about schedules now. We got big, hairy, audacious goals, and we're not just talking about today. We're going to talk to my neighbour Steve or Gary, who delivers the milk. There's some big, hairy, audacious goals, some go-getters, some people who have made definite impact, busy people. So just trying to get schedules and trying to line them up so that we can do quick hits and a mission to make sure we ask the right questions, the deep and meaningful, and people are prepared to open up. We are fortunate now. We have a library of content, so people can refer to us and get to know us. So that's been good. That's been received and perceived very, very well amongst those that we are reaching out to. So it's just a matter of timing for us, getting that timing right and getting the guests along. So we're going to be super excited to expose this to more people. And our wish too is that you, being a supporter of ours, will also take the time to share it with the ones that you love the most, who you go out and tell that you love and you're proud of. So we're looking at getting the subbies up. So they've been raising. We've been trying to do our little teasers. Hey, mate, having a bit of fun with that.
Yeah, mate. They are fun, mate. They are fun.
But the reality, people ask us all the time, how long does it take you to film an episode? Well, it takes as long as this takes, because this is us. We're not going and cut.
No edits, mate. One and done, baby. All day. Real.
And once we get Cody's makeup right at the start, and we found the right color for him. That foundation really pops, by the way.
It's pretty good. BB cream, mate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. And then we're underway, and we do not stop. We are relentless. We have momentum. The rolling stone. We gather no moss as we fly towards the weekend, baby.
Mate, I tell you what, I'm putting a challenge out there again. I want to continue with this whole DMC challenge. Like every day, have one opportunity. Be open to either receive it or initiate that conversation with someone in your life, stranger, friend, family member, anybody. But just go a little deeper. The DMC. Go with your little daily DMC. I want to hear about it. I want to see how it rolls. I want to see if people are giving it a nudge and how it affects your life and affects your day. I'm really interested.
Yeah, get comfortable with it. It can feel sticky, but the intention, it's always from the heart, right? You always want to sit down and check in. And getting to know people on a deeper level is super cool. Getting to chat and find more out about people and what makes them tick is really, really good. And it takes your friendship and relationships to a whole new level. Really, it's really, really a mindful and meaningful connection when you know that they talk about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care type scenario. Again, refer back to that. But once people know that you're deeply engaged and know stuff about them, when they can start to realize that, hey, I've got someone in my life that actually genuinely cares about me, so that sometimes, you know, if shit gets tough, you may recognize it and ask them if they're okay, or they may recognize that they need someone to talk to, and that could be you. So how valuable is it to know that there are people in your life that you can do that, or that you can be that person for someone else. So go out and tell someone, you know, that you care. Go out and have that DMC, that deep and meaningful chats. People are asking all the time, what's a DMC? Deep and meaningful chat.
Yeah.
So good, so important, and so relevant. Like we say, in isolation, we got really good. You know, we had to learn to connect in different ways. It was tough. There was less bullshit. We were out of the environment and in our own heads. And then what happens when we're back out of the world? We're back to that transaction. Hi, how you going?
Yeah, that's right.
How you going? Yeah, good day, mate.
Or maybe not even that, you know, at least during the lockdowns, there were people across the road. Hi, because everyone's so like needing connection, eh? And now it's back to the old head down and just walk out.
4 walls.
Yeah.
4 walls. But
all right, legends.
that's our hope.
That's our hope, brother. That's our mission. All right, team. Thank you all for tuning into episode number 11. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, comment below. Do whatever you want to do. We appreciate you being here for the listen. Adam, appreciate you as always, brother. Awesome effort.
Mate, I couldn't be prouder of us and our entire family. We are making waves. That's what this is all about. We're going to ride them successfully, negotiate, navigate, but we're in it together. Share the DMC, like and subscribe, get it out there. We've got some guests coming. There's some awesome stuff happening. We love you guys. We really do. We are proud of you.
Hell
so
yeah.
This is peace.
Peace out, everybody. See you, team. Out.